Duke, and Olivia had found love with the most unlikely man. Prudence was happy for her friends, truly. No one deserved love and happiness more than Emma and Olivia. Now Prudence was on her own, the last Wallflower. Given that marriage was not an option for her, this put her in something of an indelicate position. By indelicate, she meant angsty, stomach-knotted, quietly panicked, a constant state of terror. She could either be the one failure in 100 years, or she could face her fears and make one last attempt to secure a husband. With a spark of hope that surprised her, and a fortitude she didn't know she possessed, Prudence embarked on one last-ditch effort to wed. Thus, Cecil. Prudence stared at the sleeping man across from her in the mail coach. Convinced that there was no one for her in London, Prudence had left for Bath with her aunt and guardian, Lady Dare. It was in the Bath assembly rooms that she'd struck up an unlikely acquaintanceship with Cecil, Lord Nansen, who tended to seek refuge in the Wallflower corner during balls. They came to the realization that a quick, clandestine marriage of convenience would suit them both. Thus they were travelling to his estate, where they would marry by special license. It was almost the stuff of romance, except that he had no romantic interest in her, nor she in him. Cecil wanted two things: his mother to stop plaguing him to marry, and Lord Fairbanks. After their perfunctory wedding, Prudence and Cecil planned to promptly return to London, where she would prove to everyone that she wasn't the sole failure in the 100-year history of Lady Penelope's finishing school for young ladies. And then? She didn't know what then. She knew only that she had to attend and that she could not face that ball without a ring on her finger. Otherwise, the beast would have won. In the years since, Prudence had become rather adept at pretending that the awful thing had never happened. She told no one, and had proceeded to pretend with Emma, Olivia, and Lady Dare that she was the same girl she'd always been. Sometimes she almost believed it. But then the beast was there, a shard of a memory, or at the same party, reminding her that she had no future. No man would ever want her or love her. Which no longer mattered, because she had no interest in being with a man intimately. Yet every so often she felt a hot flare of determination to prove him wrong. Thus, a husband for Lady Penelope's ball. Cecil, with his round, pale cheeks and floppy blonde curls, would never hurt her. Of that she was certain. As he slept, he breathed faintly through his parted lips. Prudence tried not to be immensely irritated by this. She deliberately avoided thoughts of a lifetime sleeping next to a man who breathed through his mouth. Beggars could not be choosers. Besides, knowing her and knowing Cecil, they would keep separate bedrooms. Cecil, she suspected, had as little interest in embedding her as she him. The way his gaze had strayed to Lord Fairbanks when they'd all conversed in the assemblies at Bath hadn't escaped her notice. He wouldn't hurt her, nor would he touch her. That suited her just fine. The prospect of a marriage of convenience didn't provide the relief she had sought. This wasn't what she had dreamt for herself. She had wanted love, all-consuming, passionate, can't stay away, shout from the rooftops, die without you kind of love. But at least she wouldn't be a spinster. At least she wouldn't be the one failure in the 100-year history of her school. She could do this. It was her best option. It was her only option. There was no reason for her stomach to be in knots. There was no reason for her heart to ache a little more with every beat. And there was no point in being sad for what she'd lost. Everyone else in the mail coach slept. Everyone else included a portly middle-aged man and his equally portly wife, one wiry young man with spectacles, and a vicar. None of them breathed through their mouths. Prue looked out the window and watched the countryside roll by in the moonlight. Fields gave way to a thicket of forest. Instead of the usual luscious green of old trees and expansive meadows, a drought had made everything dry up.